Hi everyone, today I wanted to talk about this kind of like a disease disorder that I've been living with for years, and I got it pretty young. It is about thyroid gland. Now let's just talk first of what I have. You have like disease of thyroid gland, and it can be maybe separated into two main disorders. One is hyperthyroidism, which I have, and the other one is hypothyroidism, which is completely opposite from hyper. I have a hyperthyroidism, which is a disease that is autoimmune, and it's about thyroid gland. Your thyroid gland is producing more hormones than it should, it's working faster, it's kind of messing up with your body, and when you have a hypo, it means everything is slower in your body. And people with hyperthyroidism they're losing weight, and people with hypo, they're gaining weight from like breathing air. So I have a hyperthyroidism, and it's also, I have a Hashimoto disease as well. It's like a disease of thyroid gland is pretty complicated. It has all these branches and everything. So it is a disease that doesn't kill you like within a year or something, but if you don't treat it, it can actually kill you within years, because it's affecting your heart, your bones, the hormones in your body, because thyroid gland is in charge of everything, all the hormones happening in your body, all the hormonal process, and that is very important for functioning. Let's move on to the how I got it. It's not contagious, so I noticed the symptoms around maybe when I was 24, 25. Now I'm gonna talk about symptoms first, and then I'm gonna talk about how I got it. The symptoms were, this disease is kind of tricky to notice. You need a good endocrinologist to actually first notice that you have it. So I was feeling dizzy, I was feeling weak, I was losing my appetite, I was losing my weight. I was like 45 kilos. I started losing my hair, and I lost my period. And basically when you lay down like to sleep, your heart just keeps on beating like crazy, and you get really frustrated easily and cry easily and yell easily, but you don't talk about the main problem that you have. And it's really difficult, and you don't know what's going on. You're depressed, you're out of energy, you're easily irritated, and I felt so bad. I was going to emergency room more than once, and they were checking my EKG, they were like looking at my heart. They didn't know what's wrong. They just gave me a little pill to calm down and send me home. So one day I was in a supermarket, and I fell unconscious right there in the middle of supermarket, and people picked me up and gave me some sweet water, and I returned back home. I was going to work, but I didn't go. So I went again to the emergency room, and there was this good doctor that was good with diagnosing stuff, like Dr. House moment. And she looked at my neck, and she said, like, maybe you have something wrong with your thyroid gland, and go check yourself out. And because when you have it, this part, because thyroid gland is here, this part gets kind of swollen up, and your eyes get a little bit bigger. And I went to check my blood, and I did, and my results were like 967 times bigger than they should be. And the doctor working in hospital was like, I don't even know how you're standing, but sit down, we have to talk. And that's when I kind of discovered what it is, and I started kind of questioning my life, how I got it. I did it to myself, basically. It is a disease that it's caused, of course, there's genetic part and stuff, and like, I don't know, whatever, but it's actually something that you bring on yourself, and it's stress related. At that time, I was in a very bad period of my life. I was in a job that I didn't want. I was in a relationship that wasn't going so good, and it was just one thing after another, and I was just packing it all up inside and didn't talk about it, and it was just suffocating me. And I felt every time I wanted to speak up or cry or everything, I would swallow my pain, and I would actually feel it here. You know, when you're kind of under stress and you want to cry, but you kind of don't want to cry, and you're swallowing your tears, and this part hurts. Your thyroid gland hurts, and she wants you to speak up, defend yourself, and don't stay quiet and depressed. The doctor said to me, you have to quit your job, break up your relationship, change your life upside down. And I was like in shock. First, I didn't want to accept it, I didn't want to do any of it. I was like that crazy woman. But eventually I did quit my job, and I did it like within one day, because I kind of realized like, okay, that is causing me a lot of stress, and I quit my job. I did stay in a relationship for some time after that. The relationship ended eventually. When I quit my job, she told me, you do what you want to do what you like, whatever makes you happy, even if it's silly. So I didn't have a job. I was living with my parents, and I was going every day. I would wake up and I would take a book and go out for a walk by the river, or going into like a coffee shop and drinking coffee on my own with a book. And that, let me tell you, that restored me quite a bit. Not completely, but that was like the beginning when I realized like, you have to do what you want to do. Of course, eventually you have to work and earn your money, but if you need time to kind of stop and reset and start again, you have to do it, because it's like if you're running on low battery, eventually the battery is gonna die. So I, after 2 or 3 months, I was like feeling ready to work again, and I found a part-time job, and it was awesome. I don't work there anymore, but it's like it was the best job that I was ever, the best people I was around working with. That was kind of something that restored my health a little bit. But the journey was not over. I would still have, like my heart was beating very fast, my TSH, something that is connected to thyroid gland disease, it was very high still, and I was feeling pretty bad. So let me just start with the story how I got better. So it was a journey. First, I was taking so many medicines, and I was taking a sedative. I was taking something to calm me down and put me to sleep, because imagine you're going to bed, you're like all in your pajamas and everything, and you lay down, close your eyes, and your heart is beating like you're running a marathon. It's like you can't sleep, and you wake up very tired, very irritated. So I was taking something to calm me down before I go to bed, and I was doing that for 6 months. And I was drinking some pills for hormones, and I was drinking a lot of drugs, medicine. And eventually when I started to go into remission, when you start to heal, you kind of get off medicine, and then the mental health process begins. So I was going to this health center on a mountain here in Serbia, and I kind of, step by step, I was of course making some mistakes on the way to my happiness, and it was worse before it became better. And then at some point I met my husband, and we started a relationship, and that helped me a lot. He literally lifted me up, lifted my spirits, and he also does something that's called Theta healing. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I can put some links down below, and that helped me so much. It's kind of like psychoanalysis with bioenergy healing, and it really completely restored me. And at this point, when I was getting better and better and better, I started to realize that I was the biggest problem. I'm my worst enemy, and we usually are, because as the life was beating me down, I was staying down and getting more down, lower, underground, and until I just decided it has to stop. And my advice to you is to just speak up. You know, that was my biggest problem. I was always, I was yelling at the wrong people for the wrong reasons, and I was keeping quiet in front of like the people that I should have, speak up in front and say what I think. So I started like fighting with everybody, not like on purpose trying to hurt somebody, but if somebody's trying to make me kind of crazy or something, or doing something that I don't approve, I started speaking and telling people that I don't agree, I don't believe them, I think it's a bullshit. It all includes speaking to your parents and family, telling them what you really think. That's kind of the hardest thing. And then I was like, even at work, I wasn't allow anybody to, yes, you are my boss, yes, this is a private company, yes, I know everything, but I don't think you're right. And that's something that helps. Nothing bad is going to happen to you if you argue with respect, to prove your point. And if you think you're right, and you won't let somebody tell you that you're not, unless he has like proof that you're not right. So I'm now completely healed. Of course, this disease is something that they say it's like there is no cure for it. So it can be triggered anytime by lifting something heavy, or by like excessive heat, or by stress, or like a nervous breakdown. Everything can return. But now I don't go to the doctor anymore. I just go to check my blood, and if my results are within normal, I don't visit doctor. I did visit once when I was completely healed, and she told me, yes, your thyroid gland is now fine, but we should still like consider taking it out, and you drinking radioactive iodine. That's what you drink. And I was like, no, because like it might come back, and that's why I need to take something out of my body. No thanks, because if you take it out of your body, you have to drink drugs for the rest of your life, because your thyroid gland is no longer there and it cannot control the hormones in your body. And one more thing I have to tell you, if you suspect you have this disease, please go to the doctor. This is just my experience, this is my story. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. You should go and ask for advice, and please do not look for the solution on internet, because they're advising that you should drink something or eat some other food, like you should eat nuts or fish or something to add iodine. Well, that's wrong, because hyperthyroidism, people with it, should not take iodine more than they already have, because we produce more than we need, and taking it artificially more and more, it's gonna make you feel worse, and so on and so on. You get the picture. When somebody said, oh, you should go to the seaside, there's a lot of iodine, and I'm like, no, if you're very sick with hyperthyroidism, you should not go to sea, at least until you get a little bit better. I wanted to share my story because it was really rough period for me, mentally and physically, and the medicine cannot help you. Only the medicine. You need to change your life completely. You need to expel everything that is bad from your life. It doesn't matter how much it hurts, how difficult it is. It just has to be done. Like, put it away and bring some other things in your life, because without that you can never get out of this vicious circle and get off medicine and stuff. So this is my message to you, and I hope you are brave enough to do changes, make changes in your life. It doesn't matter if you're healthy or just under stress, or you have some other disease or illness, basically mental health, mental picture you have of yourself in your head is so important. It can heal you. Like the vision of bright future can be very healing. So this is my message to you, to stay positive, stay healthy, because when you're healthy, there is nothing you can't do in this world. Love you all. Bye bye.